this one action, right? You probably can't understand what I mean by it, but this one action, I think, has the potential to solve 90% of all of our problems. And it has solved almost 90% of all of my problems. To help you guys get a better understanding about things, let me tell you what I mean. So, recently with my business, we had to conduct this workshop, right? Like, we're trying to get leads, we're trying to get customers, and we're trying to give also in some way to society and do some good for people, give them some sort of therapy, because that's what our business really does. And we created this whole art creativity workshop where people would come in and they would create their best summer memories as kids into clay models, and they would have them displayed in their homes. And this would sort of recreate what we do in our business. It's just for us to collect data. And if they're interested, then maybe they can talk to us. We could think about it, like whether, they fit our what we provide and whether we want to do the project and all of that. But the whole idea behind this is so that we can collect some information of what we're trying to offer, whether people actually want this, whether it's actually even helping people. So that was the idea behind the workshop. But going into it, planning for this whole workshop, planning for the poster, planning for how to structure things, even clay modeling for that matter, are all stuff I probably know this much about. Quite literally, like I have done clay modeling probably a month at max. That also in like my first year of college, where we had a clay modeling class. And after that, I've never not really worked with clay hands-on as often. And also with like conducting workshops, I have no idea. And especially because all of these people that were in our audience, and the workshop happened, by the way, I'll tell you a bit about it in a second. But all of the people in the audience, all of the people that are expected to come, our target audience is all 30 plus. So it's not even like it's people of my age and I can goof around with like some slang and talk to them really goofily. These are like well-grown adults. And speaking of which, I saw this crazy video by the guy who works for Ratan Tata. I don't remember his name, but he's a young guy who works with Ratan Tata, and he was there at his funeral, the curly hair kid. Very, very emotional video where he's talking about elders deserve respect. I've been somebody that's always argued in my mind, why do they deserve respect? Like what have they done? What have they done? And I think one thing that I keep forgetting, like living is hard, right? Whether you like it or not, we humans are so busy seeing the negatives that life is hard. So for anybody that's made it into that phase or that stage of life, they have gone through that hardship. And for that simple factor, giving them respect is important. But anyways, a little side tangent. But yeah, so this workshop, we don't know people. We don't know like what do they like, what do they not like. We just know how old they are. We know a little bit about them. And we don't know how to do workshops. And again, like I said, we don't really know how to work with clay. But here's the thing. The workshop just got over today. And although we did not meet the number of people that we wanted to for the workshop itself was an absolute banger. Like literally the joy on people's face after the workshop, the like feedback they were giving, the way they spoke about, yeah, you guys were like really good. Everything that they said meant that this workshop was actually a good experience. And I also had my father over there who has done like a lot of events. Like, I mean, he's conducted like workshops. He's like a leadership development coach. So he's done a lot of the stuff, and he was also there part of the whole thing. And he was also like, yes, you guys, did a good job. You had a good structure to things. You guys had a good flow. And how did we do it? Like, how did Paint Me create this sort of space where how did we organize this workshop with zero workshop experience or like very minimal clay modeling experience and stuff? Well, the answer is quite simple, guys. And it's something that I've been stressing and thinking about a lot of late in life. And it is the just figure it out attitude. So for those of you that don't know, I have recently moved out of my parents' home. I am living alone in Bangalore itself. My parents also live in Bangalore, but I'm living alone in our home, and they've shifted to another home. And I have few of the basic necessities, but food and electricity and internet is all things that is expected to be covered by me. Mind you, I am still a college student. I am in my 4th year of college. I have like one work experience, and I have no source or no like consistent source of income right now. All I have is my business that I started, and YouTube is obviously, I'm not making anything off of it, but I still did it. I was like, you know what, let's just go and live alone, because for whatever reason, if you want to know the whole reason behind it, I'll have a video show up. I spoke about it in my previous video. You can go check it out. But the whole idea is, what I'm trying to tell you, what I mean by the whole walking like thing, is the just figure it out attitude. It is one of the most monumental things, and you would be surprised the number of things that you can solve in the world by having this one attitude, the just figure it out attitude. Now, obviously, there are certain sub points to this. To really prove my point, this video I'm doing with no script. I have nothing in front of me. I don't know, I stand up, but I'm just sitting in my shorts. I have no script over here, nothing written down. We're just going at it with the just do it attitude, or just figure it out attitude. And that's like, I'm trying to emphasize, and not only emphasize, but also show that it is possible to do this. I don't know whether this video is going to come out well, or whether you guys are going to like this video, but if you do like it, then you know that the just figure it out attitude works, because I have nothing on me right now. I just have an idea and I'm talking about it. And if you do like it also, go ahead and hit that like button, because it's working, and it might just work for you also if you hit that like button. I'm kidding. Bullshit. But anyways, I've been thinking about it lately a lot. And I was talking to my girlfriend about it the other day also, where she was talking about this cosmetics brand, like this lipstick brand, where it would be completely organic, and there are a lot of problems with it and all of it. She knows the space basically. And then I was like, yeah, you know what, you can do that. That is a good business idea. That sounds really sound. Why don't you go ahead and execute it? And then she told me, like, Dhruv, the number of things that are there that I probably have to figure out. There's science, there's chemicals, there's chemistry, and all of these different things that I have no idea about. I paused for a second, and I was a little worried, because usually she gets a little irritated when I give advice and stuff. But I thought, and I was like, you know what, you'd be surprised at the number of things that you can solve in the world by just starting and trying to figure it out. So this workshop, right? How did we do the whole thing? So first of all, with clay, I actually went to my college. We had to create a video for clay, for like the workshop itself, which involved clay in it. And over there, I was manuring clay. I'm getting an understanding. Okay, this is how this material works. Yeah, touching it too much is causing it to become dry. And kneading it, how does that work? How does adding water work? How does adding something called slip work? Doing some basic research from online, watching videos. How do people work with clay? How do pros work with clay? How do you get clay to dry in the best way? What are the fundamentals of clay? Like what are basic things that everybody must follow? I'm reading up about all of this, and about the workshop, I read this book, a book about facilitators. Facilitators are people that organize workshops or gatherings or events. Like, even if you're just organizing a dinner, you're a facilitator. So how do people actually do this? And that they give so many beautiful points. You need to be a very listening, you need to be somebody that's very willing to listen. You need to have some sort of command over the whole audience, so that some people don't try to take the lead. You need to have set guidelines of what you want, or what the objective is of the whole workshop or the meeting. All of these different things. Did I know all of this before going into the workshop? Not really, no. But I didn't know, okay, when I do this, like in the workshop, when it starts, how do I start the workshop? Immediately, I read the book. I'm like, okay, when you do an introduction, you need to make sure that you're drawing clear boundaries of what not to do. You need to make sure that everybody knows that you are sort of leading this workshop. You are guiding them through it. But at the same time, you need to create that environment for them from the get-go. In fact, even before the event starts, you need to create an environment for them where, in our case, we wanted them to be very personal and vulnerable. So how do you create that environment for them? How do you try to make everything very personal and vulnerable for them? So stuff like this, right? I know I'm just going on a side tangent about how to organize workshops over here, but I had no idea about any of this. I just figured it out. And mind you, this wasn't in like a decade. And I know I'm not a workshop expert, and there's a long way to go, but at least I know something. And how did I learn this something? By just doing and figuring it out. So there is no problem that you cannot figure out in this world without just doing and experimenting, right? Trial and error. So there is theoretical knowledge, and then there's trial and error. Theoretical knowledge is where you know about the books, you know everything like in the books, like you know your chemistry, you know your physics, you know your maths, and you know all the theories and all of that. And then trial and error is where you have a problem, you want a solution, You just keep experimenting with different things. You tweak one thing and then you see how it works. You tweak another thing and then you see how it works. You need to be very mindful, obviously, of everything that you're tweaking. You can't tweak 100 things at one time because then none of it is going to work. But that's again going into trial and error. Like that's what we're doing with our business too. I am not a business expert. I do not have a business degree. I do not have like a family that's very, very much into business. I'm not a good Jew. I'm not a Marwadi. I'm none of that. I am just this boy from Bangalore, and I am studying in an arts college. I've played football my whole life. But guess what? I'm actually somewhat we're able to run our business so far, at least, touch wood. We're able to figure out how to get new customers. We're able to figure out different possibilities of lead gen. We're able to organize workshops. We're able to, the other day, yesterday, we went on Church Street, which is this area in Bangalore, and we put up a canvas and we asked people to paint on it. Now, as soon as we went and put up the canvas, nobody was painting. We had this poster also over there. It was just this fun activity where we'd get people to paint their summer memory and we would document it and then probably post it on social media at best. But nobody was painting. So I was like, okay, let's talk to people. So I started getting people like going and speaking up to people. Guess what? I got ignored by like at least 10, 15 people. But then one person responded. And I tweaked things. I was like, okay, I did this and that's why they responded. So then I tried it again. And then, okay, it didn't work this time. So that means it's not functional. It just worked for that one person. Then you tweak another thing. And I was like, okay, complimenting people helps. So I started complimenting people. The first, like I saw a couple and I was like, dude, I really love your fit. Would you like to recreate your summer memory? Because you'd have really cool style. I'm assuming you're really good at art too. And stuff like that. And that started working. And then slowly it started compounding. And then people started coming on. And then like more people started seeing what's going on. And then more people started coming. And obviously there was a lot of rejection in it too. But it started compounding. And eventually, before you know it, we had like 14 people that painted at the end of the day. So just like having this, I wouldn't say it's confidence because there is fear, right? Like living alone right now, moving to this home without like my parents, having to figure out water, having to figure out not water, having to figure out electricity, having to figure out my internet bill. It is scary. But do I know that I'll be able to figure something out? Yes. And I wish more people could see this because so many of us are just so rigid to this one path that we think is a solution to all problems, and we think we need to be some sort of super genius to know all of the things in the world. Like think about it. Like how was gravity discovered, right? Newton did not like do like some sort of genius equation. An apple fell on his head, guys. An apple. It is literally just a game of trial and error. Obviously, there are certain caveats to these things, right? Like when you do super complex things, you probably have to have a good balance of theoretical and like trial and error sort of knowledge. But I feel like it's very important. The balance is very important. And yeah, that's basically the whole idea of behind this video. In terms of business, we're making some really exciting progress with trial and error. Last month, we had 0 leads. We spoke to quite a few like people, but we had 0 like outcome. There was nothing out of it. This month, we have 3 leads right now, potential leads that can be converted into clients. And one is a really good lead. And mind you, our service is a very high ticket service. So even if we convert 1 client per month, we are we're doing good. So it's compounding and it's trial and error and it's just figuring it out. There's all of these different beautiful things, but the emphasis is just trial and error. So I hope you guys got something from this. Share this to that one friend that wants to start a business and is struggling to think that, okay, they think that they're not smart enough, or even that one friend that you think is just anxious all the time about whether they're smart enough or not. Share this to them. Maybe this can help because I know it's helping me, and I hope it reaches somebody that could use it. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of this video. Try with tiny things. Try, I don't know, creating a video on Instagram and seeing how it works. If it does not work, tweak things. Trial and error. Yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you're able to gain some value from it. If not, then stick around or check out some of my other videos. There's something out there that you definitely find some value from. If you did, then go ahead and hit that like button because it helps. A little bit of validation also helps with trial and error. But yeah, that's the end of this video. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. But until then, bye.